Lasagna can be a tedious thing. It can take hours to make because first you gotta make your different fillings, and then you gotta boil your noodles, and then you gotta layer them in a baking dish, then you gotta cover it, then you gotta bake it, and an hour later, finally, you have lasagna. But I'm gonna teach you a really fun riff on a classic recipe. I've got a couple flavor combinations that are interesting, they're really fun. The most important thing is that we're making it in a skillet so it's easy and it's weeknight friendly. Ah! I've got a large skillet here. You need one that's 12 to 14 inches in size. The deeper the better. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to this. I mentioned some fun flavor combinations, and one of them is lamb. I'm going for like some Middle Eastern flavors here, so we're starting with the pound of ground lamb. All right, so we're gonna cook this for about 8 minutes. You wanna get it browned, just cook through. So I'm gonna actually add a little bit of salt here and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. And while this cooks, I'm gonna start getting my aromatics ready. We're gonna start with an onion. Cut it into about 1/4 inch pieces, but it doesn't have to be perfect dice because we're just going to be sauteing it anyways until it's nice and soft. Looks like a lot of onion, but when it gets in there and it starts cooking down, it's gonna be the perfect amount. And in addition to 1 onion, we are going to add a few garlic cloves. And by a few, I mean 3 garlic cloves. I'm slicing the garlic as opposed to mincing it because I'm actually gonna add it at the same time as the onion, and I don't want it to cook or brown too quickly. It looks like the lamb is ready. I'm going to transfer the lamb to a bowl. I like to do this because then you can look into the pan and see how much fat is left over. And you want about a tablespoon of the lamb fat because you're gonna actually use that to cook the aromatics, so the onion and the garlic. And I'm gonna add the onion in here, right into the pan. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. And when you add salt to something like onion while it's cooking, it not only is gonna add flavor later throughout the dish, but it's gonna help extract some of the moisture in the vegetable, like in the onion, and that's gonna actually help you kind of naturally deglaze your pan and add a ton of flavor to the sauce that we're creating. We're gonna cook this 6 to 8 minutes, and you want the onion just to be softened. This is harissa paste, and it's a spicy chili sauce. I'm willing to say this is a mad genius ingredient because it adds a ton of flavor. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of the harissa. I'm gonna mix this around until the onion and the garlic is all coated in that delicious harissa paste. So I'm gonna actually add spinach. This is about 6 cups of adult spinach. Do not use baby spinach in this case. Baby spinach will be too watery and it will kind of water out your sauce. We're gonna cook this for 1 to 2 minutes just until it wilts. I have about a pound of classic lasagna noodles, and I'm gonna break them into 1 to 2 inch pieces. Snap them right in there. Get those lasagna noodles in the pan. And now we are going to add 3 cups of marinara sauce. It is definitely a mad genius ingredient. Then I have 2 cups of chicken stock. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a secret ingredient because you can use water, but chicken stock is gonna add just a ton of flavor because the noodles are gonna absorb it. Then I'm going to add back the ground lamb that I cooked off. Got it mixed up. You've got the ground lamb, you've got the spinach, you got the lasagna noodles. I'm gonna bring it down to a simmer, and we're gonna let this go for about 20 minutes. In about 10 minutes, I'm gonna show you what it looks like because we're gonna give it a stir. It's been about 8 mints. Oh, look at all that steam. You can see the noodles are already starting to soften. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir, just to make sure everything's getting evenly cooked. Go ahead and cover this up. And we are gonna let that finish cooking. In total, it's gonna be about 20, 25 minutes. I want you to see this. Look at that. Bubbly, the noodles are softened. This is looking so good. And it's in one pot, it's in a skillet, it's on the stovetop, but now we're gonna add our cheese. I've got here just some whole milk ricotta cheese. I'm gonna do about maybe 1 1/4 cups, dollop it all around the top. And this is kind of giving you that cheesy layer that you would get in traditional lasagna because we want it to be really cheesy on top. We are gonna add some freshly grated parmigiano-reggiano cheese. So I have a little wedge here and I'm just gonna go right on top. And I'm looking for, I think, about 1/2 cup on top here. All right, so I'm gonna cover it for 3 to 5 minutes just until the cheese is hot. All right, woo! That cheese is hot and melted. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh parsley. This is gonna add a little flavor, it's gonna add a little color. Get right on top. You can also do basil. And then I like to hit it with some extra parmigiano-reggiano cheese. Looks so beautiful. And a little cracked black pepper, just like that. It is ready. This mad genius recipe. Make sure you get all the noodles, a little bit of the cheese. Got the gooey cheese, I got the noodles. And just like that, in one skillet, in 1 hour, you get weeknight lasagna.